this map. And to the bottom left, we have Alive in the red color. Down a game now, Fnatic player here with a bit of trouble against his StarTale opponent. To the right, in the red color, we have Hack. Means nuclear missile in the Korean.
Yep. Looks like his command center is on fire at this side of the map. That's another problem I have with this map, man. It makes command centers look like they're on fire.
Yeah, they're already burning. Let them burn, baby. And I'm curious to see what...
Just gone.
Are you okay?
Yeah, you should. Yeah. I don't know, man. You just said let him burn, baby, and I don't know, I died.
I really worry about you sometimes.
I'm fine, man. I'm totally okay. Don't worry, man.
Okay.
I've got everything under control. I've got no cracks. I've got no holes, man. I'm totally fine.
All right.
Double gas going down. Look at. Did you guys notice the production tab will see a nice line of symmetry? Meaning top half is the same as the bottom half.
That is the worst attempt of dodging that you've ever made.
And
but granted, okay.
Yeah, you wanted to say something earlier, but I
have no idea what I wanted to say, to tell you the truth. You kind of threw me off track.
I'm sorry about that.
But what I'm wondering right now is how Alive is going to get back into this. He had really disappointing results at Iron Squid, not because he played bad, just because his opponents were a tiny little bit better. Every series that he played was really, really close.
Yeah.
He could have won both of them, but in the end he didn't, so he finished 4th. And he's a player who has he has very high standards, and he always wants to perform his best, especially for his team. He's a team player, and now he's down a game, and that's not how he wanted to start this best of 3. So he has to come up with a plan to defeat Hack here.
Yeah. Did you actually see if Alive, when did he change his hair? Did he change before he went to Iron Squid or afterwards?
Oh god. He changed it before. That's actually exactly the same hair that he had when we went to club.
Okay, alright. Excellent. That's very insightful for me. It's good for me to know because, you know, if he came back with a new hairstyle, it would have been like, that's kind of weird that he actually had time to do that because he probably got back yesterday early in the morning, because I know that's when Simple got back. And I would have been like, wow, he's got to change his mindset here. But it looks like, no, he's not actually stressed out. He's not that crazy about his performance at Iron Squid that he would change his hair.
But as we said, that's the problem, or one of the problems that he definitely had. He just came back.
Yeah.
He did not really have enough time to prepare a call.
His sleep schedule is probably a little bit messed up as well. It's the worst feeling in the world, and I'm assuming he was on the same flight as Symbol, which I know for a fact got back at 7 a.m. To get off a plane and get into a new country, you know, after your sleep schedule's been adjusted for another one at 7 a.m. Because then you're like, oh, it's 7 a.m. I have to go through the whole day. And if you don't go through that whole day, then your sleep schedule's messed up. And if you go through the whole day, you're going to be exhausted. You're not going to have enough sleep anyways. So it's like lose-lose.
Yeah, I talked to Todd yesterday. We've been hanging out yesterday, and he said that Alive just came back. So he was sleeping at that point. Well, right now we currently have the builds. We have Hack with the attempt of getting Cloak Banshee, so he will play on one base for the time being, while Alive has already a command center. And Hack with a little bit of a mistake here when positioning his starport.
Yeah.
He loses a few precious seconds.
I thought that was kind of weird. He has gone double gas, so he will likely be getting Cloak here. Nothing else would make sense.
Oh, but he uses... No, actually he only used minerals here, but he delays the Cloak a little bit.
Yeah, just slightly.
He's doubled Marines before he starts with his upgrade.
Yeah.
And the command center.
Yeah, the command center obviously a little bit early as well. He may just decide not to get Cloak. He's getting a Tech Lab, on his factory as well. I think he's going to be skipping it now and going into Siege Tanks right away. Alive does have this presence with his Hellions at the front of his base, and he's already getting Vikings out. Looks like he's going to be going potentially for a mech composition here, even using the reactor right now. May very well switch. Hack going for a Raven to follow this up, rather than getting any additional Banshees nor the Cloak.
The Banshee will have a huge problem with the Viking that you just mentioned, so we will see probably no kills at all. Is he actually heading out with the Viking here? Yes, he is. And meeting the Banshee in the middle of the map, this Banshee isn't doing anything.
Nope. Even Marine's waiting as well. Damages one Marine, that's all she got.
Yeah. Not a single kill.
nothing. And here's a switch coming out for his hack. He's going to be using the reactor for medevac production here. Going to be getting stim very likely from the tech lab on the barracks as well. And these Hellions are in a great position to do damage. It's always going to have Hellions at the bottom of your opponent's ramp because that's when his units are going to pump up the most. Nice micro by Alive, but I'm not sure if that was worth it.
He is far ahead in supply at this point though, and he cancelled the Raven. So after he killed the Banshee, he decided, okay, I don't need the Raven right now, let's just cancel it, it's just way too expensive. And this gives him a lot more resources, especially his gas count is up to 200 at this point. He's lowering his command center to the low ground, as does Hack. And yeah, Alive with a decent lead in this game already. Small one, but still.
Yeah, he has, he's built his siege tanks a little bit late. He has siege mode first. However, but the one critical thing to note, I feel, is that they're both going in the same composition, both adding 2 barracks right now, both getting siege mode, is that Hack has stim first. He's going to have stim way ahead of his opponent. He gives him a lot more aggressive and defensive capabilities that he's going to be able to use against his opponent, as well as the fact that it looks like he's going to build up his medevac count a little bit faster. He's only making 1 at a time right now, though. Surprising considering that he did make that reactor, or switch the reactor with a starport a lot earlier. But with that stim out, I mean, still no stim from Alive. That is going to come back to bite him quite significantly.
Yeah, it's very late here.
Yeah, he's got the tech lab available, he's just not doing it. There it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a little bit late, as you already mentioned.
What's the harvest count at this point? We have currently is 37 to 39, so they are
About even. You can also see that the income tab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in Terran versus Terran, when you see the income tab, you always have to check the mule counts as well, because they just...
it'll change like crazy.
Yeah, it changes so much as soon as you have a few mules.
This is an interesting position we have. One thing else to note, I'm just basically trying to give you guys all the differences in unit compositions. It's 4-2 siege tanks right now, 20-8 in favor of Alive as far as Marines. So even though he has stim first, he's not been building that Marine count, so it just doesn't matter that he has that many Marines. He's been making these reactors. He's about to have a ton of Marines, but he doesn't yet. This is a really intense drop by Alive, however, and he tries to cancel stim, but it does not work. Stim does finish just barely in time.
Yeah, Alive Hack is really lucky here. Oh, but he's going to lose one of the siege tanks.
And not the Viking, but almost lost it.
Yep. Yeah, that's something that he should have paid a little bit more attention to. A siege tank is obviously very, very expensive, so...
Killing the tech lab does mean that he will delay combat shields quite significantly, but Hack has 3 reactor barracks producing Marines right now, and that is going to be pretty good production for him. He already has stim. He can use that fairly soon if he wants to, but his opponent will have stim by that time, because again, he just does not have the Marine count to use it. I like this, going in for a second drop here. He forces another run back here. He forces the stim as well.
This is important. Just forcing all those stims is really nice. But we have Medivacs by now. It will, on the other hand, make sure that the energy on the Medivacs is going to be a little bit low. And now Hack, he's fed up. He's like, yeah, well, that's not going to happen again. I'm just going to build a sensor tower now.
It is 6-2 siege tank count in Hack's favor, as well as he is going to have +1 and combat shields way ahead of his opponent. And again, I've talked about this so many times, but I want to say it again for those of you guys who were, maybe not have listened. The Marine fires the same rate as a missile turret. That is actually so fast. And with that many Marines, how many Marines does he have right now? 39. That means you multiply that +1 advantage by 39 when you have that fight. And that is just absolutely crazy to think about. That means that this timing that he has right now that he may in fact hit, well, he is moving across the map with stim, soon to be combat shields, and all these siege tanks could be devastating.
Where is the supply difference coming from? Is it only the Marines? Kind of looks like it. Has the Viking as well. Yeah, it's basically only Marines.
The tank count, though, is catching up a little bit for Alive here. He is going to lose some of his Marines on the left side of the map, but it will buy him a little bit of time. I can't believe he's actually going to get away with that.
I can actually believe that he is going to... Is he just... Oh, okay, that's Alive. Just...
Oh, man. Losing so many Marines, though.
Nice position here for Alive, though. He has the defender's advantage at this point. 140, but dropping into the main now. But the Marines are in position now, overextending a tiny little bit into the siege.
Yeah, baiting him a little bit. This one Viking doing a little bit there, but he botched that just a little bit. I like more than anything what Alive is doing with the small group of Marines, though, he's actually going to potentially flank and catch this army. Will he catch it? That is the question here. They both now have even upgrades.
Oh yeah, beautiful flank.
Yeah, this is
beautiful.
Great. He's going to get the siege tanks.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them, most of them before they are actually sieged up. This is the best engagement ever for Alive.
Yeah, he's almost essentially won the game with that. He's killed so many siege tanks.
He saw exactly what was happening thanks to the Zelnaga watchtower, and then he moves in from the side, takes down the siege tank, and now the siege tank count is 8-2 in his favor.
Yeah, not only that, but he killed so many Marines that the Marine count is significantly in his favor as well. And if he fights this next engagement cost efficiently, there's no way he can lose. He forces his opponent to stim early. He's not even going to stim, in fact, just going to take it.
This is just such a nice engagement by Alive. That was so well done. And now Alive suddenly has 40 supply ahead. He takes the third base. He's going for the armory so that he can start with a +2/+2 upgrades. The second engineering bay is being built as well. He's just trying to make sure that he has even more advantages in this game where he's already fired.
Oh, looks like these siege tanks are gonna take a little bit of fire, but it's, I mean, Hack is trying to do what he can. It's just not enough.
Dropping onto the siege tanks on the high ground as well, taking down 1 tank, 2, 3 of them.
And gets out with most of his Marines.
Yeah, it's brilliant. He just has so much more tanks. 7-3 at this point. 8 medivacs to 5. His tech units, this is what really gives Alive this huge advantage. And of course also the huge supply difference.
He does, however, give his opponent, he's basically evened out the Marine count with his opponent. His opponent does have better upgrades, at least for now. And he just barely does not have enough to be doing this cost efficiently. He will clean this up, but it was not as cost efficient as it could have been. Yeah. He's going to get some medivacs here. And Alive overextending just a little bit there.
But let's not forget about his upgrades. +2 attack is on its way. He has the 3rd command center at this point, and he's getting more and more tanks, both of them with double tank production.
He's catching his opponent off guard.
He's catching him off guard. He's sieging up at the perfect moment, right into the range of his opponent's structures.
Yeah, at the National, you guys will get a shot of it.
Oh, but actually all of his Marines died. Alive, what was he doing? He lost all of the Marines, he overextended with them, attacked with the Marines, but without the siege tank support, loses every single one of them, and then Hack can target down the tanks. A huge misstep here by Alive.
Now Hack actually has almost, he's basically got 30% more army supply. If he goes for an attack now, he can kill the 3rd base of Alive. Does he realize that, though, is the thing, because the supply difference here is only in worker counts, essentially, and he's got the army advantage. If he actually pushes through here and kills Alive's army, Alive may lose this game. Hack still has a chance.
Alive with a huge misstep. He has to siege up. He has to siege up before his opponent reaches the base.
And he will.
But Hack will try to look for openings now.
Yeah, he will definitely go towards the natural. He's going to go for the center tower right away. He's wasting a lot of time, though, and this does give Alive a chance to use that superior economy to get things going. He's also got 2-2 on the way. His +1 for his siege tanks is about to finish. All of these things are really going to add up because Hack will just not have them. I feel like Hack's waited too long if he wanted to end this game.
But this was really close. As you mentioned, this attack by Alive that completely failed because he did not attack with his entire army at the same time. This gave Hack an opening again.
Oh, he's going to try to come in here, but Alive is more than ready. He's going to crush this, no problem.
He needs to be a little more careful with his Marines, though. But yeah, with all these tanks lined up, this is just way too much. And Hack, GG's, leaves the game. Alive takes it, ties the series 1-1.
1-1 indeed, and that was a really big misstep. I wish we could have seen exactly how that happened, because I'm not even sure where his Marines went. It's like he went to move that 3rd command center down and he wasn't paying attention. They all died or something.
Yeah, I think he was currently just macroing it up.
Just a little bit of overextension, it looks like.
Another explanation that I could come up with is that he might have just thought that his the siege tanks were far enough to the right so that he can actually attack the Marines of his opponent.
Yeah.
And did not see that they were out of range.
Entirely possible as well. Either way, our next map is going to be Ohana, and I think both these, basically we saw a lot of mistakes from both players in the first 2 games that weren't huge mistakes, but they were game-changing. And on this 3rd map, I think what we can potentially see here is these 2 players playing at their best yet for TVT, because it all comes down to this. They cannot afford to make mistakes. If they want to go to the next round, and get to that up and down match spot, they have to win this.
Yeah. This is what it comes down to at this point. Ohana in another TVT. This is going to be the last map between Alive and Hack.
And we're in the game now, so you guys will see it in just a second. Don't go anywhere. This is Code with Caldor and Wolf.